Now, briefly before we begin the physical practice, I just want to share one thing with you that kind of struck me or is on my mind this morning. Many, many years ago, when I kind of first started my yoga practice, I was in my early 20s and I was just kind of trying to find the path of my life. And I had a note that I had handwritten, and I think I put it on my mirror or something like that. And it said, "If you don't get lost, how can you find your way? If you don't get lost, how can you find your way?" And that was meaningful for me. This morning, I was actually listening to a talk or a lecture from my teacher, and there was a sentiment that reminded me of that note that I used to have on my wall. And what they said was, if you don't experience confusion, how can you know what clarity feels like? If you don't experience confusion, how can you know what clarity feels like? And what it speaks to is this idea that we come to find our way through experiencing, in a sense, that which we don't want. When you know you're experiencing confusion and then you move towards clarity, the light bulb really goes on. But if you didn't have that experience of confusion, you wouldn't know what it feels like to get clear. If you've never been sick, you don't really know what it feels like to get well. So it's the contrast that we go through in life that helps us to kind of define our journey. When you feel lost, you'll know energetically once you've started to find your way again. Point being, the reason that I had the note, the reason that my teacher was talking about it in this lecture, don't beat yourself up when it feels like you're off course. Don't beat yourself up when it feels like you're in a state of confusion. Don't beat yourself up when it feels like you're in sadness or when you're in anger or whatever it is. That experience is providing you with the contrast that will propel you in the direction that you ultimately want to go. It's helping you to define and to feel what it's like when you come back into alignment. So you got to know a little bit what it feels like to be out of alignment in order to travel back into alignment. So we're just developing our inner guidance system and moving through life, experiencing some hardships, and then knowing what it feels like to move into ease. So the things that we don't want help us to define what it is that we do want. Don't beat yourself up wherever you are on this incredible journey. Don't beat yourself up. Just know where you want to go based on sometimes where you don't want to be. Bring your hands together at your heart. So, acceptance, self acceptance, knowing that we live in a world of duality, and it's the contrast that provides clarity, and just a willingness and an acceptance to embrace your journey. When you're lost, when you're on the way, when you're lost, when you're on the way, rub your hands, make them nice and warm. Kindness to yourself, acceptance of yourself, forgiveness of yourself when you get lost, when you get confused, when you get angry, when you get depressed. Hands to your heart, slow deep breath in.